Hey folks, welcome to Good Story Live. It is Thursday, December 22nd of 2022. I'm Jesse Mulbauer. Welcome to the Ginger It's a special episode. Do you want to tell everyone why?
It's the season finale of season 1 of Good Story Live. This is 25 episodes.
I don't even remember doing 25 episodes. How did that even happen?
25. That's amazing. I don't even know that I had an idea when we started this how many episodes we would get to, but I'm amazed that it was 25.
Likewise, I never thought we'd make it. No, I'm thrilled that we made it. I'm amazed at the phenomenal guests that have graced our guest chair over the last 6 months. Yes. I'm so proud of all of them and what they contributed, and I'm so grateful to have been able to do this with you, Ginger.
Yes, and, likewise.
And just to clarify for our audience, that's not the series finale. No. You know, there's more episodes coming. This is just the season finale. We'll get to all that in a little bit. Yes. This is going to be a look back. We've got some fun things prepared for you. We've got a couple goofy things prepared for you. So stick around. Ginger, what do you say? Should we get this show on the road?
Let's do it.
All right, folks, let's do it. You're watching the season finale of Good Story Live. And we're back. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Glad to have you right here on Good Story Live.
Yes.
And Ginger down there in Studio B in Atlanta. How is Atlanta? Because it's actually cold. It's cold and snowy here. How are things there?
It's freezing. Actually, it's getting ready to be freezing. We have on Christmas Day, I'm looking at my phone so I can tell you accurately what it's supposed to be. Christmas Eve. The high is 25 degrees and the low is 9. What? I know that's like typical temperatures for you.
Probably. When did you move to Minnesota? Like, what?
Right. Like, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold.
Is that usual for Atlanta this time of year?
No, not for the highs. Like, okay. Not for the highs. I mean,
I do remember I went to a convention years ago in Atlanta during January, and I was struck at how cold it was in January in downtown Atlanta. Like the wind just went right through you. But
I mean, don't get me wrong, we do get cold, absolutely. But like we have highs of 25, 33, and then we go back up to 39 and we hover in the 40s. And that's pretty standard. But dipping into like single digits at night, I don't think I've seen single digits at night since I've been here, which is wild.
It's been wild. Ginger's like, why did I leave Florida? Okay, well, I wish you all the best there. Do you have, you'll be able to bundle up there, dress in layers when you go out?
I'm not going anywhere. That's what that tells me.
Yes.
Christmas Eve will be spent at home doing cooking. Actually, probably cooking.
Very nice. I like it.
Yes. How about you? You mean, is this your weather right now?
It's snowy and cold. But we will have a white Christmas, that's for sure. And that's always nice. See, it's always enchanting. This type of weather is enchanting until January 1st. And then January 1st, we're like, oh man, we got to shovel this stuff. And now it's turning brown and it's rotting in the streets. And, then we're pretty much done with it. But during the holiday season, the Christmas time, people enjoy the snow.
Sure, I can imagine. Yeah. I was going to say, snow gets ugly after it's been sitting there for a minute. Really and I think people that don't see snow often forget that or don't realize that snow is beautiful initially, and then it gets real ugly.
Yes, that is correct.
Real quick.
Well, yeah, that's Wisconsin for you. So we'll enjoy it while it lasts, and once January comes, we'll be looking forward to the budding of the flowers. So.
Well, you've got a while, right? Spring for that.
Anyway, let's talk about season 1 here. I don't mean for this to be, overly nostalgic or anything, but this should be a celebration of all of the guests we've had on season 1. Because you and I, when you brought that up that we had done 25 episodes, I was stunned.
I know. Me too. I
Do you
was,
happen to remember off the top of your head who our very first guest was on Good Story Live way, way, way back in the old days?
of course, it was Spence Hood.
Good old
Right.
Spence Hood.
That was so fun. That was a like I said in the episode, I feel like we joked, you and I, or that was one of my fears. I was like, Jesse's just not going to be there. And it's going to be me running the show. And lo and behold, that's what ended up happening. But
Yes.
Spence was so easy to talk to. He was absolutely lovely. And the only thing that we didn't get to do, which I wish we would have done, and I did not remember, was having him play for us live. That would have been.
You know what? That's why we were renewed for season 2, so we can have Spence back on, have him play some stuff from his new album, which I believe just came out.
I know
recently.
he's had a very busy fall and winter.
He's traveling now, so yeah, we will have Spence on season 2 and catch up and have him play for us. There's actually a lot of people I'm excited to have on and get updates. Kimmy Rutledge, can we just talk about her for a second?
Yes.
She has been enormously successful since her episode on Good Story Live. I'd like to say we had a huge hand in that.
Yeah,
Just kidding. It was all you. But you know, she landed that role, that phenomenal role in Oblivion on the Netflix series.
Is it Oblivion or Obliterated?
Obliterated. Thank you. Yes, not the Tom Cruise movie. That was a while ago. Obliterated. Thank you, Ginger. Ginger knows what she's talking about. Obliterated, which will be coming out at some point, I assume, next year. And also, she's one of the writers and actors on a new late night TV show called Joy Sauce, which is very exciting. So she's got a lot of great projects, more coming up in 23, but we'll have to catch up with her at some point.
I know.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm sure Elise Kova will have some new projects in the works too.
You think she's written a book by then? I don't know.
I mean, she's got 25 under her belt, 24, 25, at least that are published. So I would not be surprised.
If Elise Kova had written one book a month since we started Good Story Live, she'd be up the same number of books as we had guests on the show. So
yeah, could you imagine?
She's very prolific.
Yes, she is. She was wonderful as well.
Let's get an update on your sister Alex. Remind our viewers, she and her husband sold their house and their belongings. They bought a trailer and a truck, and they decided to tour the country and live as nomads and enjoy their youthful years, learning about themselves and the world around them. How is that going?
It went really well.
Okay.
It was amazing. The experience of a lifetime. When they decided to, so it was always intended for it to be a 3 to 4 month trip. They always planned on being back in Fort Myers for the holidays, and then they would kind of figure out what was next from that point on.
Yeah.
However, when Hurricane Ian kind of ripped through Southwest Florida, they decided, you know what, we really want to go back to our community. We want to help out. And so they cut their trip short by just 2 weeks and have been down there. I think my brother-in-law has been helping with cleanup and whatnot. And my sister is starting back up teaching yoga classes in this coming year. So they've kind of found a place that they like, and they're settling there for at least a year. But they had a wonderful time. It was a great trip. But one of the things that she said, though, in one of my recent conversations with her, she's like, I didn't realize how much I missed my space, like having space after living in a camper for.
I'm sure of that. Yes.
2 months, 3 months, something like that.
I'm going to go sit over here.
Yeah, I'm going to sit over here. You sit over there. Could you imagine? Yeah. Like, yes. So to have space and be able to like nest, so to speak, I imagine feels really good right now.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, think of all the memories and the people they met. And I mean, that's a really exciting thing to be able to just dedicate a quarter of a year to, or half a year.
Absolutely.
Time to exploring your home country, right?
You should really go, if you have not, check out her Instagram, and they did some YouTube videos as well, and just see like some of my brother-in-law took some amazing photographs.
Hmm.
They saw all kinds of animals. They met all sorts of interesting people. They met, it's amazing. You can find people that you have something in common with just about anywhere. And my sister ended up running into someone that had an experience with a company that she used to work with. She used to work for a company called LifeLink, which deals with organ donation. And it was just it was something that she needed that reminded her of what was a challenging time in her life, but also something that she felt really passionately about. So it was really good. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, trips like that can not only set us up for the future, but help us process the past. And I think that's great. I got to drive cross country once in my 20s. We drove from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Seattle, Washington. And I think that everyone should do that one time if they can, is drive across the country. It gives you a scope and a perspective of how big and also how small the landmass is. It's equal parts fascinating.
Well, so we've been talking with my sister, having been on that trip. We also have an au pair that's living with us from Germany. That's one of the things we talked about, is like the scope of the United States and how massive it is compared to Europe, and how much driving, like how far driving could get you across the United States compared to driving across of like Europe. And it's just amazing. You don't realize how much bigger the United States is and how much more expansive it is, yet it still can feel really small when you compare it to like driving across other continents.
Absolutely. I mean, especially going from country to country, some of the small ones in Europe, it's like New England, like
yes, exactly.
New Hampshire to Vermont.
Yes. And you're in a completely different country speaking a completely different language. Like
and they're within like New Hampshire to Vermont space of each other.
Yes.
It's remarkable.
It is. Absolutely.
Who else should there's been so many. My editor, Christine Vassos, what a great interview that was.
She was so lovely.
Yeah. Loved Christine.
I loved the game we played.
Along with us to play that game.
Yes, the game that we played. That was wonderful. Yes. As well as an old colleague of yours, Mark Pickens. He was lovely to talk to. I had never Shakespeare in the Park. I love that.
Mark's great.
Yeah.
Back to tell more stories.
And what a good reminder to not everything you do and enjoy has to be a profession. You can still continue to do things in life that you enjoy just for the sake of enjoying them. That was my big takeaway from Mark's episode.
And that, dovetails nicely with Linda Cordaire's episode about, happiness being a virtue and that you should actively pursue joy in your life, because that's a huge responsibility of actively being an active participant in your life and the things around you.
Speaking of Linda Cordaire, I think I'm curious to see if you have one. I think that may have been the episode that I was most intimidated by our guest, not necessarily in the conversation itself, but in the leading up to. It was either her,
Linda, if you're watching this, Ginger was terrified of you.
or I was intimidated also by Elise Kova. Did you have anybody that you were?
Wait, really? I didn't pick up on that.
I wasn't no, you wouldn't have. It wasn't. And again, she was absolutely lovely. I loved her, but it was the perception in all that she's accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
And it for both of them, and even a lot of our guests, the scope of the things that they've accomplished.
Sure.
From that sense, I enjoyed talking to both of them. They were lovely and so sweet and so friendly.
Yeah. And I liked Linda's answer specifically about how to approach a fine art gallery, where that anyone could walk in there and appreciate what's being seen. You don't have to be an expert in romantic realism or the classical artists to walk in and appreciate what's right in front of you.
Yeah, that was nice to hear, that I can just walk into an art gallery and not need to feel intimidated. Not that I need to feel intimidated, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Was there anybody for you?
I wouldn't say I'm intimidated. I'm not generally intimidated when I talk to anyone. I generally assume people are going to know a lot more about their level of expertise than I will. I will say I'm always very conscientious whenever I'm going to interview a musician because I'm
Mm,
not musically inclined. I can't read music. I can't play any instruments. I do love music, and I have a deep appreciation and one would say even a passion for not only the creativity and the dedication it takes to master something, but also some of the philosophy behind it. But
mhm.
in general, since I don't know and understand the mechanics of it very well, I generally do a lot more research than I probably need to ahead of an interview where we're talking to a musician. So I think,
That makes sense.
yeah, we had Spence Hood on, we had Ali
Ali
Byland.
Byland. Mhm,
Um, hopefully, I'm not. I mean, DJ Graffiti interfaces with that as well. Martin Smith.
mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah, and that goes to knowing not that there are any dumb questions, but it's like, "Ooh, I am out of my depth of knowledge here."
yes.
In knowing how to ask what I'm trying to
Well,
ask.
see, as an interviewer, that's your responsibility is
Yes.
to ask a dumb question that the audience is sitting there thinking, boy, I would ask that if I could, but I don't know even what the right question is. So then the interviewer is like, well, I'll ask the dumb question.
That's
That's
the dumb
fine.
question.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm here. So
Yes. Exactly.
I've asked my fill of dumb questions this season, and I'm proud of that. There's no dumb question, only dumb answers. So
Yes, exactly. And yes, I love that. It's not, being able to ask the questions that everybody wishes they could kind of ask, but don't either have the opportunity or have the yeah, have the opportunity to ask.
yeah, absolutely. Um, who else I really appreciated talking to was Ava DeLaurier. As a
Yes.
fellow writer, she hasn't published yet. She's working on it. And I thought that
Mhm,
was it was an interesting opportunity to have someone on because I don't think people like that are interviewed often. Usually you interview
mhm.
someone after they've achieved their success and they've published, right? But talking to someone who is still in the throes of that was a fascinating discussion of the state of mind, the frame of mind you need to be in. I thought she was excellent.
100%. She also was, to me, able to speak to the journey in a completely different way than a published author would
Mhm.
probably speak to it, because she's very much still in the process. She was able to share and answer, I think, a lot more about her writing process and the tools that she uses. I learned about critique partners. I had no idea what the heck those were.
Yeah.
About the query process, didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know that's what it was called. Like,
Uh-huh. That's right.
there were so many like little nuggets of wisdom that I picked up that I don't know. It's kind of like talking about, um, because she's an expert, but when you talk to an expert in something, they often assume general knowledge that the public doesn't have. And
Right.
Ava, I don't feel like assumed any of that and was just like,
Very
yes,
approachable.
I'll give you all of this information.
Absolutely. I think as far as uniqueness, that's one of the episodes that I really like to promote and have people see because it's
Mhm.
unusual to be able to interview someone who is still in the throes of creating. And I
Yes.
think if you're a writer, if you're starting a novel or you'd like to, go back and watch the episode with David Delorier, and you'll get a lot of inspiration. So,
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
who else I'm excited to have back is Neil Van Ides. Loved Neil Van Ides. I always,
Neil
whenever
was
I see him, I think about the story when he's driving to LA and the lights get, and he was, he was tired out of his mind, but driving for like 2 days straight, and the lights come in.
yes,
He thought he was being abducted by aliens. I love that story.
I do too.
Yeah,
I still have only made it through one episode of The Flight Attendant because it was just so stressful watching that.
it's filmed. It is so visually intense. Yeah,
Mhm. That is something that I will say, having the opportunity to speak to actors, right, that are in different projects. We had, like we said, Kimmy, we had Neil, we had Rafael Silva,
Mhm.
and all involved in different types of projects too. Just the appreciation for the level of commitment to what they're doing, the level of detail that goes into the entire process.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
absolutely.
Yes.
Even outside of the some of the more niche projects that people work on. I would love to have more fashion people on the program. We had my cousin Kevin on, who talked about Grateful Civilian. Justin Blaney, to a certain extent, has interfaced himself with a lot of people in that industry and promotes it as much as he can. And I'd like to have more people on like that, because there's an entire science and philosophy behind the art of fashion. Stella Chang, I mean, that is her other life. She was a fashion designer right before or while she was an artist. So definitely looking for more people like that in season 2.
Yes, makeup artists. I would love to talk to a makeup artist. You and I have talked about this offline for sure.
Jewelry maker. We were talking. We have a jewelry maker on season 2.
I would love to have more artists on as well, of varying mediums.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a couple that I've been stalking on Instagram and TikTok that I'm like,
please be on our show.
Trying to slide into those DMs.
Yes. People wonder, how do we choose the guests we have on our show? We are the people we can book.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And some of them are people that we've known in real, like we know most of the people, if not all the people that we've interviewed in season 1 are people that we have some sort of personal connection to as well.
Oh, and let's not forget the phenomenal audiobook people we've had on. We had Laura Horowitz.
Yes.
We had Mandy Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were both lovely as well. Laura was one of those people whose DMs I slid into.
And she responded.
She
didn't block you.
No, she didn't. Thank goodness.
So nice.
She was lovely as well. Yeah. I love her TikToks.
Yeah, very funny.
And I had no idea. I mean, you assume, being an audiobook narrator, right, that it takes time. But I did not consider all of the prep work that goes into something like that. One, reading the work before you're actually going to narrate the work, so you're not surprised by anything that happens. Take all the note taking, all of the different takes. Gosh.
All that stuff. It's a lot.
Yeah. But I'm so grateful for them, because it's nice to be able to listen to a book. And have it as maybe even you're reading along. Kevin and I do that. Both of us do that all the time. We'll have a hard copy, and then we'll also listen to it to reinforce it.
I love that. It's a great way to enhance the narrative. Forgive me, one of our guests, if we failed to mention you, but we love you as well. There's just too many to mention. But if you have missed any of those episodes, we encourage you during the interim, the off season, to go back and rewatch an episode that you missed, or one that you saw but you'd like to get some new inspiration. I feel like we don't say it enough, but this show is our slogan is for creatives and connoisseurs alike. And we're there to encourage you to support the artists that you feel inclined to do so, and to embrace the passion that they have as well for their art, and maybe you'll start doing it as well.
Yeah, and get some inspiration for your own creative passions as well. You know,
writing, whatever.
It's so helpful, especially with the people that we get to interview, to be able to, and like we were talking about with Ava DeLoria, to just get a peek inside somebody else's thought process, the way that they do things, that may be just a few steps ahead of you in a process that you, or a path that you hope to one day walk.
Yeah.
You know?
Or maybe you're going to think of something really original to try. Like what pops into my mind is Stella Chang's, the second interview we did with Stella Chang, where she came up with the idea of how to paint through pain. Phenomenal idea. I mean, I don't know if it started with her or maybe someone else did it first, but her iteration of it was very powerful.
Yes.
And you know, if this program or the interviews that you've seen on it inspired you to do something original, send us an email or drop us a note. We'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely. I would love to hear about that. Especially while we're off in between seasons.
But we've got more that we're going to be doing, and we're going to keep you up to that. In fact, we're going to go to a break. We're going to go to a quick break here. We'll be back in a few minutes. When we come back, we've got a couple funny, goofy things to show you, as well as a couple Q&As, and we'll keep you posted on what we're going to be up to. I until the beginning of season 2. So we'll be back in a minute. Stay tuned, all right?
It's called City of Angels, but there's a devil lurking here. This week, 4 girls were murdered in Los Angeles. The last victim isn't like the rest. She wasn't a prostitute or runaway. I knew her, a 19-year-old nanny working for my friend. The poor lass. Her body was found drenched in a pool of blood. By a twist of fate, her diary came into my possession. Its pages have begun to unravel terrible secrets. Secrets someone might kill to protect. Her ex-boyfriend, a bad-tempered, steroid-fueled bodybuilder who was devastated when she dumped him. Her boss, an A-list actress who would do anything to keep her name in the tabloids. The priest, what evil sins might he be hiding that he never confessed? Her secret lover, how far will he go to keep the truth from his wife? I'm off to the races. Though I'm hot on the trail, time is running out. Luckily, my fae, my sixth sense, has guided me every step of the way. But can I solve this mystery before I become the next victim on the killer's list?
And we're back, folks, back on Good Story Live. And Ginger, we've got some fun things coming up in just a minute. But
Yes.
first, I want to make sure people understand what there is coming up on social media, even if the show won't be on for a few months.
Yes. So if, even though we will not be in our regular spot on YouTube and on Facebook every week, we are still going to be sharing all of the interesting snippets from the episodes from season 1, as well as some of my favorite moments that Jesse and I have had on the show, which I have not shared online yet. And then one of the things, there are so many. There's so many. There are so many stories that I've forgotten already that I've told.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the owl. Who remembers the owl? I had forgotten about the owl.
Never forget the owl.
Let me know if you know which episode that's from below in the comments, because, like I said, I had forgotten. Maybe I'll link it down there. Jesse and I will also be doing a handful of lives in the off season as well over on Instagram and on TikTok. So please make sure you're following us over there. We might be doing a little Good Story Live after hours.
Absolutely.
After
hours.
Inviting
guests on now and then. Someone familiar
to catch up.
Yeah.
You might be seeing some of our previous guests. So if, like I said, make sure that you are following both of those accounts. But there's still going to be a ton of great content, a ton of great stuff going out to Good Story Live social media in the interim. So
yes,
don't forget about us. We will absolutely be back. And in the meantime, there will be plenty of stuff going on Instagram and on TikTok and Facebook.
You got it. That's exactly right. And season 2 of Good Story Live will begin late spring. So we will have a lot of exciting new guests for you, a couple changes to the program. We're going to incorporate some new exciting things. We're going to ditch some of the old things that maybe it's time to ditch. To be clear, not Ginger and I, though. We're staying. So if we're not your favorite part of the show, you're out of luck.
Might not be the right spot. But yes, Jesse and I will be staying.
Yes, we'll be sticking around. But there'll be a few new fun additions for season 2. So iteration, evolution. Good
yes. Overall, like I said, 25 episodes at the beginning. That is no small feat, sir. And I am extremely grateful that we have had the opportunity to do this.
Cheers.
Cheers to you with my water. Ching, ching, ching. I'm good though.
All right. So before we move on, I thought we'd have a little fun here. You had mentioned, Ginger, that some of the things that we want to share are some behind the scenes stuff, things that maybe haven't aired as much. And that got me to thinking. I'm like, there are several clips that we have that, for let's say good reason, never made it on Good Story Live. And mostly what I'm talking about is like the recording of promos and false starts to episodes and things like that. But how
Do
well yeah.
I was gonna say, if you guys could have seen Jesse and I recording the original promo, and how many times Jesse was like, "Ginger, faster."
Ginger, I have a feeling they might get to see a little bit of that today, because what we have put together a small compilation of what we're calling behind the scenes footage of Good Story Live. This is not best of. It's not best of anything.
No.
This is
no
this
such
is
promise being made.
This is antipathy of that. This is not something that would normally air, but we're going to show it to you anyway, just to give you an idea of some of the work that it takes to put the show on the air and to get promos out there. And we'll come back and chat about it in a couple minutes. So settle in and enjoy the behind the scenes footage of season 1.
I can't wait to see it. This is. By the way, Jesse said total internet failure in my studio.
Oh, just if there's not a tire fire on day 1, are you really trying hard enough? That's what I say.
Yeah, I like it. It.
It's the show.
The morning show. Oh, start again.
Okay. Smile 3. Hey, it's the show.
The morning show.
Yes, the morning show for creators and connoisseurs alike.
Whether it's films, novels, music, or art, we're going to be bringing you the stories, the meaning, and the creators behind it all.
Join us Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here on YouTube or
Good
Facebook.
Story Live.
Sorry, Ginger, what was that? Sorry,
Good Story Live.
Also see us on Facebook.
I always see. I'm like, he's told me to be fast.
Yeah, that's right. You're doing exactly what I told you.
I
right.
am. I'm
We're good
following
here.
instructions.
We're almost done. We got this. All right. Smile 3, 2. Hey, it's the morning show.
Jesse.
Oops. I usurped your line there. Sorry.
You did.
It's the show. I didn't want to be corrected by you anymore. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Let me clear my sinuses. Hey, it's the show.
The morning show.
Yes, the morning show for creators and connoisseurs alike.
Whether it's films, novels, art, or music, we're going to be bringing you the creators, the stories, and the meaning behind it all. What?
Please, let's use that one.
I can't even end it.
I want to hear the what at the end of the promo. Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
What is that?
A bedroom.
Oh no!
Is there another one? Here we go. Is that better?
I heard doing a show was easy.
It's
the show.
The morning show.
Okay, you got to jump in faster than that. That's okay.
Oh gosh, I can cut it.
Sure, just chop it through. There's no pauses at all.
Go again.
All right. It's the show.
The morning show.
Yes, the morning show for creators and connoisseurs alike.
Whether it's novels, films, art, music, we're going to bring you the stories, the meaning, and the creators behind it all.
Join us Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, which is early, I know, right here on YouTube and maybe Facebook.
Maybe Facebook.
What's the name of the show, Ginger?
Do you know I don't have that line in here? That's why I keep forgetting to say it.
Okay.
For good.
I like how you're so done after I mentioned Facebook. You're like, that's a wrap. Hey, y'all.
Hi. So, Jesse and I have to explain something.
Oh wait,
Because
no, that
there-
was definitely not the opener we're going to use.
That is
Definitely,
100% the opener.
no, we're not using that. All right,
All right, fine.
we are recording now. All right. Actually, you know what? I'll pull myself in a second. You open us up.
Oh, okay. Hey, folks, welcome to Good Story Live.
Are we live?
No, we're not, are we? Welcome to Good Story Live. We are not live, but we are here to explain something to you.
Yes, you have something to explain.
Yeah.
This was terrible. Let's start again.
Okay.
And
Did you ever make your coffee too sweet? You don't drink coffee, do you, Jesse?
I don't. I'm wired enough without it. Get jittery if not. All right, I'll just keep you on. We'll just come back as we are because we're a good mix. Whatever it was we talked about, boy, wasn't that great?
So good. So good.
The best banter we've ever done. Then we have to live up to it. All right. All right, we got to act serious now. Here we go. Okay. You good?
I'm great.
It's okay. Should I put you? Do you want me to bring you back on, or are you all right?
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. You're
Okay.
fine.
All right. Very good.
Is there anything that you're watching on television that you're enjoying right now?
Well, this was the pre-show intro, Ginger.
Oh, dang it. What question am I supposed to ask?
No, I didn't send us to the intro. This was all the pre-show intro. Remember the part
Oh.
before the?
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Thanks.
We'll
You
just-
confused me.
I'm sorry. I forgot to remind you that we were doing the pre-show.
Well, you know, the first time, yeah, you did.
That's why I was going so fast, because the pre-show is very fast. You know,
Yeah. So what, are we going to start the show?
we're going to start the pre-show again, and then you're going to throw it back to me, and then I'm going to say, and welcome everyone to Good Story Live, and then the intro starts, and then we come back and we do our banter.
Okay.
I know it's been a while since we've done the show. It's been like, God, 6 or 7 days, but and that was some of the behind the scenes footage from Good Story Live.
Oh, man.
That wasn't even all of it. That wasn't a fraction of it. I just put together a few things that I had on hand.
Man, that was good.
Oh, that is
Brought
so.
back memories.
The first promo was so funny.
It
We could
was
We
so
could not get that one done.
hard. Well, it
Oh.
was the first time you and I had ever sat down to record something together, right? Which
We
is
could not get
different.
the timing of when you jumped in right, and I was like usurping your line. at the
Yeah. Forget not even realizing that I had a line at the end, be
Oh.
like do 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 do, and you're just waiting for me, like
That's right. And then I kept getting the time wrong. It was like 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, which is not
no,
right at all.
no, I know, I heard that. I forgot
So-
about that too. And that's not even if you've seen our promo, which is on our YouTube channel, that lives at the top. If you haven't subscribed, you'll know that that's not even what we were wearing for the promo that we actually ended up using.
No,
that
that
was-
all went to can.
That wasn't. It didn't come from that take, folks.
Did not. No, it did not.
Oh man.
It was fun. It was a lot of good memories recording stuff with you there, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So, and moments of confusion and whatnot. So,
Always moments of confusion from one of us.
lots of confusion.
Mhm.
Before we go on, are there any questions you want to go over? Season end finale questions before we get to the last little thing that I have for us?
You mean like the list of questions I put together for us before the show?
Sure, why not? I don't want to be presumptuous. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely. All right. This is going to be rapid fire. We're both going to try and answer to the best. Well, no, try and answer. We're both going to answer unless we're just stumped, which, that happens on occasion on this show.
Very much.
So we're going to start very simple. We may have answered this, but how did we meet, Jesse?
We met. Whoa, yes, I remember meeting you. Yes, we met way back. You and I both worked for Apple.
We worked at the fruit stand.
Anywhere. Yeah, at the fruit stand. Exactly. Selling apples.
Yes, that was the code name for it. We worked at the fruit stand together
We
for
worked at Apple together. And yeah, that's where I first met you. You were working in like technical.
something.
There was most technical roles, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the first interaction I ever had with you. The thing that I remember, I would say, you know, outside the context of history, we'll say, is that you were always spoken of as the go-to person if you had a question. And I had a lot of questions. So like if someone didn't know something, they'd be like, oh, just ask Ginger. Ginger will know. And at first I'm like, sounds great. Which one was Ginger again? And then once I figured out who you were one of two people actually who I went to quite often for help. So
yes, Jesse, when I met him, was still in or just finishing your career as broadcast, and I found that fascinating. Yes.
Right.
It was a wonderful time.
It was. We chatted a lot about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, some of our guests from this past season were people that we've met at the fruit stand.
Yes.
Not together, but separately too, I think.
Correct. That is correct.
This question is not on my list, but I'm going to ask it because I thought of it today. When we are doing this, because we know that we are filming in our separate studios from home, are you are your shoes on or off when you're?
Oh, I don't wear shoes when I do the program. I wear socks. I wear pants, just to be clear, but no shoes.
I would have 100% thought that you had shoes on. I do not either. But I absolutely would have thought that you had shoes on.
There's nothing stereotypical about what I'm about to say because she would agree with me 100%. But my wife is Asian, so of course there's no shoes in the house.
Yeah, this is true. I forgot.
Of course not. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that too. Oh. All right. What one word would you use to describe the first season of Good Story Live?
Interesting. No, I come. I would say inspirational. I found it very inspirational.
Yeah. I would agree. What would be my word? I think mine was exciting. Just excited. It was. I was excited from the moment that you pitched it to me. Which brings me to our next question. Why Good Story Live? How did it start?
The show or the name?
Ooh, I'll let you decide.
Okay, well, first of all, I'd wanted to do this show for years. I had been trying to find the time and the resources to put it together, and I was building up a potential guest list of people I wanted to interview. And so Ginger coming back into my life was perfect timing, especially when I reached out to her and said, I need a co-host. I think you're it. Did I even give you an option, or I just say, you start Monday? I'm like, well, how did that? I don't remember how that happened, but
you pitched the idea to me, and Jesse had no idea, and I had forgotten about this, and I think I shared this in one of our episodes, that many years ago, probably well over 10 years ago at this point, I went and saw. I have occasionally go and see psychics, tarot readers, like all of these different. What'd you call this? Woo 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 woo
is my word.
Woo 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 do woo woo. I love it.
Respectfully, I say that respectful woo.
Oh, yes. I mean that is me. Yes, 100%. Yeah. One of them told me that. Oh, I see you having a talk show at some point. And
when was at what point in your life was this, or when was this?
I was 24. No, 25 maybe.
So when you were 25 years old, a psychic told you were going to host a talk show.
Yes. At 25. Yes.
There you go.
So it was meant to be.
Who would have thought?
I know. And I didn't share that. I remembered after we'd started Good Story Live. We were probably a quarter or maybe almost half the way through the season of Good Story Live. And I was like, oh yeah, I should share this story sometime.
Ginger was very shrewd. She didn't mention that as soon as I brought up, like, a psychic told me this would happen. I'm like, huh.
Could you imagine that being my opener?
Yeah, so anyway, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
No, it was perfect timing, and you were available, and you were excited about the project, and
Mhm.
brought a tremendous, not just an on-air presence, but a tremendous amount of skill in social media management and things of that nature, and all of
Mhm.
that. But as far as the name goes, I struggled for a couple of weeks in trying to think of what to call this show,
Mhm.
because every genius idea I had was already taken, or it was somehow usurped into some other title.
Mhm.
And so I'm sitting on the sofa one day with my wife, Poe, and we're writing out a list of some of the best ideas that are still on the table. And eventually, what ended up on the page was this, because we were getting desperate. There was almost nothing left.
Mhm.
And the last one that was still on the page was Story Dip. And the logo, what we pictured was like a canister of dip, like, like ranch dip. And you and I sitting jacuzzi style, one on each side, and it said Story Dip on there, and like you dip in and you have a story. And I was like, this might be all we have left. I hate it,
Oh
but
my
I don't
God,
know that
it's
we're going to
so
find
bad.
anything better. And I'm sure all of you are thinking of better things, but like look them up. A lot of great titles are
Ugh.
gone. So I'm sitting there going, my God, I hope I don't have to name my show Story Dip. And right after that, I said to Poe, you know what I wish? I want the word story in
Mhm.
the title, because my goal is to have our guests share with us a good story about what they do with their creative life.
Mhm.
I sat there, I'm like, good story live. And I said, that's definitely been taken. But then you looked it up and lo and behold, it was available. So
It's amazing.
it's that one that you're shocked is still free.
I have never heard the story. This was both of our first time audience hearing about Story Dip.
This show was
We
almost called Story Dip. Would you have joined it if it was called Story Dip?
I mean, I might have suggested, so are we married to the name, or is there some wiggle room? Because
Right.
I'm just imagining it could have been a very comical logo, though. Just both Jesse and I like sitting in a jacuzzi, like type
Story
deal.
Dip. There you go.
I'm imagining Christmas hats also for our
Yeah.
Christmas episode, like
Absolutely.
the
Yes.
Buddy the Elf. Oh, sorry. Like
Anyway,
face.
if anyone wants to use Story Dip, go for it.
It's
The
yours.
rights are still available
You have it. Yes.
as of this recording.
Wow. Okay. So interesting.
Good
Next
Story
question.
Live.
Good Story Live. I'm so glad we ended it there.
Yes.
What's something that you've done for the first time recently?
Should I share this or not?
Ooh, I don't know. Do you want me to share mine while you decide?
I will. I will share it since you asked. It's not the first time I've done the activity, but it is new within its realm. This past weekend,
Mhm.
I wrote the first sentence of my new novel.
Ooh. That's exciting.
I've been working on the outline of this book for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been working on characterization and plot building and all the stuff that goes into writing a philosophical,
Mhm.
literary work. And this weekend, I was finally at the point where I was ready to sit down and write. And that's all I did. I sat down and I wrote the first sentence and I let it go. And I let it sit.
I love that.
And I came back to it the next day and I was like, I'm on the right track. So
Wonderful.
it's exciting. Yeah,
Yay. Can't wait to hear more about that as that unfolds.
absolutely.
Something I've done for the first time recently. We are hosting an au pair for a year. That is something new.
Is that some kind of fruit? Or
An interesting fruit. Au pair, it means on par in French. It is essentially an exchange program that the United States has set up with other countries. Somebody comes to live with you, of course, that you've interviewed, and there's all sorts of stuff. And if we want to go into it more on some other time, maybe in live on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
if she's willing, we should bring her on an Instagram live and chat with her. That'd be great.
I don't know if she will. I don't know if she will, but she lives
That's
with
not
us.
her thing.
She helps us with the kids. She's here to also study a little bit. So We have essentially a foreign exchange student that helps us with the kids. It's a part-time nanny. It's wonderful. Yes. What was your biggest takeaway from season 1 of Good Story Live?
My biggest takeaway is something I already knew, but was reminded of. So when I was a broadcaster, I interviewed a lot of different people, and something that I knew and forgot and rediscovered doing this show is you can be very prepared for an interview. You can do your background research. You can write out the questions. But once you're in the throes of conversation, you find so much deeper layers and levels of intricacy to inquire about and to opine about than what's on the printed page. And that did not disappoint here. I think you'll agree that you and I, some of the best questions that we posed were not on the page.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And along those lines, for me, my biggest takeaway from season 1, I've always known how people are willing to share their stories and just willing to like talk about their life. But it's so nice, again, just to get that opportunity to like be able to sit down and talk with people and not having, to your point, to be as prepared as I would have thought initially going into the season to be able to do those, to have those conversations, because they're, with some subtle differences, they're not super different than a conversation that you would strike up and have if you met this person in your everyday life.
Correct.
You know, we just get to do it. Yes, just people. Loved it. We're not going to be able to get through all of these questions. We're definitely going to have to
You
get
have
on Instagram.
so many good ones. Wow. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more, and then we got to wrap up.
Yes. Let's see. What was the most unexpected challenge from season 1 for you?
We had a few technical issues that we had to work around, but we navigated them, and we'll leave it at that. So,
Yes. What was unexpected for me? You know, we were very, very fortunate in season 1. We rarely, if ever, had a guest cancel on us.
Yes.
I don't even know that we had a guest cancel on us. And I think that that's something that I was expecting to happen.
Yes.
You're right. And I expected that to be very challenging.
We canceled on a few people because of technical issues or schedules had to be realigned, but our guests were really on it.
Yeah, and maybe that's not an unexpected challenge, but it was just unexpected for me.
Agreed.
From season 1. We really didn't have a moment where we had to cancel or somebody canceled on us.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yep.
Let's
pick a good one. It's gotta be the last one.
Oh, you want to do a good one? I was just going to do some
whatever you consider good.
Oh gosh. Okay. What was the most interesting thing you learned from one of our guests?
Oh, that's impossible, Ginger. What kind of question is that? I was like, oh, no, I can't answer that. That's impossible. I learned something interesting from every guest.
I did too. You're very right. You're very correct in that. Then, I'm just going to go through this or that's real quick.
Okay.
Then, texting or calling? Do you text or call?
I do both pretty frequently.
Oh, I prefer texting. And if I'm going to call you, it's going to be FaceTime.
Oh, okay.
I already know this.
You're a quintessential millennial in that. See, I don't mind calling people. I'm fine with that.
No, I want to FaceTime you. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Coffee. Rom-com or drama?
Drama.
I think I would do rom-com. That makes me like almost secondhand embarrassment from like the cheesiness of it, though. Like that type of rom-com.
There are some good rom-coms out there, though. There are very good.
100%.
Yes.
TV series or movie?
Movie. I'm much more of a movie watcher than a TV show watcher.
Yeah, a TV series is a lot to commit to, but I love all that you can cover in a series.
Yeah.
This might come as no surprise to anybody. Our answers: morning or night person, Jesse?
I'm much more of a morning person.
Me too.
I'm like right in the center of the day person. Like not too early, not too late.
Right in the center of the day. Jesse and I tried to get together to film various things in the evening over the course of the season, and the stark difference between our energy in the morning when we normally do Good Story Live to in the evening, even just filming promos or little clippets, was night and day.
Yes, that is
Yes.
correct.
Night and day. Do you have any superstitions?
I'm what's the joke Michael Scott says? I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
I'm a little stitious.
No, actually I'm not. The truth of that, I'm not superstitious at all. Like not even a little bit. I
Mhm.
would walk under a ladder on top of a broken mirror on Friday the 13th next to a black cat. Don't care.
Yeah, I'm not superstitious about that sort of stuff. Even being like a little woo-woo, I wouldn't I wouldn't consider myself superstitious. Have you ever missed a flight? I know that you travel for work sometimes, or you used to travel for work.
I've never missed a flight through my inability to be there on time or anything like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've had flights pulled out from under me, but not the other way. The closest I've ever come to missing a flight, I was still within the closing of the door within 10 minutes. So
Oh yeah.
about as close as I ever cut it.
Kevin and I were very close to missing a flight. We were sitting down in the terminal eating breakfast, thinking we had all this time in the world. And then we heard over the intercom, final boarding call for passengers, da, 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 heading to da, 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 da. And we grabbed our stuff and ran down. We were the last two people on the plane. They were
Wow.
getting ready to close the doors.
Nice.
That's how close we cut it.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
All right, we'll do one more and then we got to wrap up.
What was the first thing you did this morning?
I would be sarcastic. Open my eyes. First thing I do in the morning, if you're talking about an activity, I read the news. I spend
You?
I spend about an hour. I spend about an hour a day reading news. Lots of different news sources.
On your phone? iPad?
I'll usually start on my phone and merge over to my laptop because I prefer the widescreen.
Sure.
That comes from my broadcast days, though, is catching up with the news before you get on the air.
That makes sense. Kevin does that too.
Can't
do
break
not.
it. Can't break the
No.
habit. It's just what I do.
I always thought that would be a habit that I had growing up with parents that read the physical newspaper, but no.
Yep.
First thing I did this morning, turned off my alarm, went to the gym.
Oh, are you so when you go to the gym, is it always in the morning?
90% of the time.
Okay.
Tuesday through Friday, Kevin and I are at the gym at 6 a.m.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, now I know I can text you so much earlier. I'm always very cautious, like 7 a.m. Like, I should wait another hour.
Kevin and I are up at 5 a.m. at least 5 days a week.
Okay. Well, good to know. You'll be getting texts from me a lot earlier.
Yeah, I always wait a little bit.
Ginger, respond back to me. I know you're up.
And chances are I'm awake. Yes.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, this was fun. I like that. We'll do another one over the next few months on the
We still have questions left, so we'll do some of
Instagram
those
lives. You want to
on
hear
the-
these? You got to join us for the lives,
Mhm.
or follow our channel and watch it afterward. Okay.
Yes.
I have one last thing for us just for fun. And, doing a live show can be stressful. I don't know if the audience recognizes that, but, your
Mhm.
anxiety builds and there can be some tension. So there was one episode that Ginger and I were just very stressed out. And we decided we needed to, what's the word? Mellow.
A little bit.
So we're going to show you the intro to what we're going to affectionately call Good Story Stoned. And this was just, it was an episode. You just needed a little something to take the edge off is all it was, right? So
Yes.
I hope you'll enjoy this and we'll come back and chat and say goodbye afterward. But here you go, folks. This is Good Story Stoned. Enjoy. Hey folks, welcome to Good Story Live. It is Thursday, October 20th of 2022. And I'm joined as always by Ginger Crosby. Ginger, how's it going?
Great. How are you today?
I'm doing excellently. It's wonderful to do this show with you yet again here in October, which, I mean, the leaves are changing. The temperature's cooling down here in the Midwest. How about where you are?
Same. We got the leaves falling down. My backyard is getting ready to be a blanket of leaves.
There we go. Yes. It'll be raking time before you know it. All right, folks, what do you say? Let's get the show on the road. Sound good to you, Ginger?
As always, let's do it.
Let's do it. This is Good Story Live. I can't handle the part where you're like, same.
There's gonna be a blanket of leaves in my backyard.
That's right. You got it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, the audience can appreciate the effort it takes to put on a show. And sometimes you just need something to take the edge off. So
Absolutely.
most people did not notice that we were stoned in that episode. So.
Thank goodness that wasn't our first episode.
Right? Yes. Yeah, it was way later. So, folks, this has been fun. This is the season finale wrap up of season 1 of Good Story Live. We will be back late spring for season 2 with a lot more excitement and great guests and a lot more of interesting topics to discuss for creators and connoisseurs alike. So,
absolutely.
Ginger, let me extend a thank you.
Yes.
Before you go, I just want to sincerely thank you for doing this experiment with me. There's no guarantee that this was going to work, but we tried it, and it's been a moderate success. So I'd like to just thank you for being on this journey. I'm excited to do this with you for many years to come.
Absolutely. Likewise. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And like I said, 25 episodes is no small feat.
Yeah.
You guys, if you want to know exactly when Good Story Live is coming back on the air, like I said, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, like the Facebook page. We will be sending out newsletters as we get closer to season 2. So if you have not, go ahead and join that list, and we will let you know when Good Story Live returns.
It'll be fun. Until then, thanks so much, Ginger. We'll see you again real soon, all right?
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.